and welcome to Stream of Conscious Podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel, the producer Cox, and this is my host, Joe, the main squeeze stout.
I wasn't fighting for a host. That's not what I was saying. I was saying we both can be hosts. We can be hosts together.
The way I see the
Mutual
person
hosting.
the way I see the person who introduces is the host at the beginning, and then you're the co-host, and vice versa. So it doesn't really matter. It's just whoever starts the podcast.
Really, I mean, in the deep end of it, it's not.
Yeah.
we come out the same.
We all do the same things.
Right. Your boots are just as muddy at the end of the day. Okay, so fine. Host, co-host, what have you. That doesn't make a difference. But thank you. I appreciate the nod.
No
That
problem.
was unnecessary, but appreciated.
So what do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about the generic aisle. Something that you were talking about. You brought up to me before.
Oh, yes, the generic aisle.
The generic aisle.
So for those who don't know, when I was a kid, you go to John Eagle, or whatever place you buy your groceries, and there's an aisle called the generic aisle. This aisle had nothing but black and white labels. There was no color. It was like walking in the Twilight Zone. Because everything had all those bright colors and all whatever.
Yeah, like Frosted Flakes always had the cartoon tiger, and Fruit Loops and whatnot had the bird and everything. But like generic food, now there still is technically generic
It's
food.
generic food, but now the names are different. Like,
Right.
there's actual
it used to
like
be generic was like you said, it was black and white box, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like they put pictures and cartoons and stuff on it. It's just not ones you happen to necessarily recognize.
or it's like a house brand.
Yeah. But they still have generic food. There's still plenty of instead of you save 25 cents on your box of cereal, but you get a different cartoon on the front of it instead. So, but I remember like when I was a kid, like our whole cabinet was filled with black and white. Like that's all there was. Every food label was black and white. But I don't think even poor kids now don't understand that reference. Like you don't. That's not something that you see anymore. Is generic foods and like that. But
It just amazes me how now there's all these name brands. Like for example, you bought some donut holes to bring to the podcast today. And
Yeah.
it's by The Bakery. It's just a house brand of Walmart.
right.
Or like
Kirkland is Costco,
Yeah.
and so on and such forth. Sam's Choice is
Best Value.
Walmart or what have you. So and they all do. They all have like their own generic version of whatever it is. They just put their own label on it.
And at some points, they even take and like they'll take the regular stuff and put it in generic boxes.
I think that's what all of it is anyways. Like I think especially when you buy like medication, if you get cold medicine or something, on the package it says it's like equate cold and flu and it says compare to Tylenol, cold and flu. But it's the same thing. It's got to be the same thing. I think they just put different labels on it. I believe so. But I want to talk about I started like rambling on here. You said write down. You said generic aisle, and I jot down generic aisle so that I could remember that. But then I put down generic aisle. Isla Fisher, fishing pole, pole dancer, dance party, party pants, pants versus skins. I wrote down pants versus skins. That's how I want to play basketball. I'd be so much better at sports if it was pants versus skins. I don't even know why I wrote that down.
That's hilarious.
All right, so let's work our way down the line. Isla Fisher, do you know who that is?
No.
She's an actress, and I'm like, another one. I feel like we mentioned 1,000 actresses that I fall in love with, but she's yet another one that I fall in love with. Cute little redhead.
Not her. That's
definitely not her. I don't know who. That's a dude, man.
What?
Just Google image. The
I
dude.
typed I love Fisher.
It's ISLA.
Oh, Elsa Fisher.
No, Isla. Like
No.
island is ISL. It's
Mhm.
Isla Fisher.
It sounded like it said I love fishing. I'm like, okay, that's okay if you like fishing.
I'm not a big fan of fishing. She's she's in all kinds of movies. But yeah, she's she's one of those ones. She was
she's
in
2 years older than I am.
Wedding Crashers. She was the crazy chick in Wedding Crashers, and I think that's probably why I like
Oh,
her.
she was in Now You See Me.
Yeah, that's right. And she was in the first Now You See Me. She's not in the second movie, which I was really bummed about.
And The Great
The
Gatsby.
girl who is it? Oh, The Great Gatsby. No, the girl that they replaced her with in Now You See Me Too she's actually really kind of got a sexiness about her too. Like she's fun and kind of goofy and a little dorky, and I like her. I like her a lot.
So you got me? I need to slap on some glasses onto Sarah.
Isla Fisher to me is hot in that way that Anna Kendrick is hot.
Oh, her. I don't like her.
You don't like Anna Kendrick?
No. Is that the girl?
Anna Kendrick is...
No, Lizzie Kaplan.
Who's Lizzie Kaplan?
She's a girl Now You See Me Too.
Oh, yeah, no, her, I like her. You don't like her?
The reason I don't like her was because of her role in True Blood. She was evil.
I didn't watch True Blood.
And then she was in Cloverfield. And I hate Cloverfield.
She was in Cloverfield. I only vaguely remember her from that, but Cloverfield was because the camera was the worst of that.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. I thought the movie was actually pretty good, but it made a lot of people nauseous.
I should give her another chance. She was in an interview that was kind of funny. Because...
The interview?
Mm-hmm.
Who's in the interview?
Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Oh, no, I didn't like that.
The reason I thought it was hilarious because of the term honey dicking. Because it came from honeypot, but because, guys can't have a honey pot. It was just, the way they did that explanation was awesome.
I don't remember that part.
Oh, I remember.
I just didn't, that whole movie in general was just not for me. I didn't love it.
And that's the and actually that movie's the reason I liked the show, the song "Fireworks" by
Katy Perry.
Yeah, Save the World.
That's Katy Perry. That song was actually in what's the one the lion in the zoo and the Madagascar.
Oh,
it was in Madagascar.
I was gonna say
maybe not the first one.
So we bought. we bought a zoo.
No, it was in Madagascar movie. I think like the third one or something, but it was. Here's the thing. I don't dislike Katy Perry's music, but I really like her music videos, and they're better if you watch them on
so
mute.
You get to see. You just want to look at Katy Perry.
I love Katy Perry. I don't really love Katy Perry. I like looking at Katy Perry a lot more than I actually like Katy Perry.
That's something I want to say, but I'm pretty sure they get me in trouble with my wife, so I'm not going to say it.
No, okay, all right. Well, I'll probably get to it eventually anyways. If you wait long enough, I'm sure I'll say it. Katy Perry's boobs. I'm fairly certain that's the direction we were going with that one. Katy Perry is stacked. And that whole Elmo t-shirt thing that she wears, I mean, that's got to be somebody's first boner somewhere. I love that. Katy Perry is, she's put together very well. So, go from there. I lost track again. I do that a lot. So okay, it was I started with Isla Fisher, but that's Isla Fisher to Anna Kendrick to I think then we would jump to Katy Perry, but yeah, the whole the video of her on Sesame Street, they made a big issue because they felt that she was scantily clad or something, but really it really wasn't even that bad. It wasn't that bad of I realized they were playing on the side of safety and it's a kid's show and they'd rather offend Katy Perry than
I don't think you can offend Katy Perry.
I think she took it a little bit to heart, and I think that's why she came back with the whole Elmo shirt, that low cut boobs hanging out Elmo shirt was kind of her FU, her flipping them the bird over them, saying that she was inappropriately dressed for the filming of and it's all over the internet. Anybody who wants to see it can see it, and I've watched it. It doesn't feel, it doesn't look, it doesn't seem inappropriate. I think if anything's inappropriate, it's me. I'm the inappropriate part of that video is watching it. But I feel that way about everything with Katy Perry. She could have been wearing a turtleneck and I would have felt the same about her. Because she's a gorgeous chick. Her music's not bad, and I really don't have a feeling one way or the other about her as a person. But
answer me this question.
I do like her knockers.
How do you feel about where was I? How do you feel about HBO owning Sesame Street now?
HBO owns Sesame Street?
You didn't know this?
No, I did not know that.
HBO bought the right to Sesame Street. So now, whenever they release an episode, it goes there first and it comes a month or two later onto PBS. Is that it was so they wouldn't go? It was so they wouldn't go under.
I didn't realize that. Oh, I think it's probably a good thing though, because I think that it's exactly what it does. Because PBS cannot possibly be doing that well. It's good at a certain point. PBS has just got to die out. It's not the way society is anymore.
PBS is how every children learns how to count and read and all that stuff.
Yes, for generations and decades, and prior to the way the world is now. At this point in time, PBS can't possibly be doing that great. Like they're funded by private organizations and viewers like me. And viewers like me don't watch PBS or donate money anymore. Like there's not. It used to be back in the day whenever we had 8, 10, 3, 4, 5 channels, whatever. I remember there was like 4 channels whenever I was growing up, and then slowly like a few more of them came in. But now with cable being what it is, and I'm surprised PBS has lasted as long as it did through the whole cable boom. But now on demand, Netflix, Hulu, so on and such forth, all these different things. PBS is it's too drowned out. It can't possibly get enough attention. Nobody is watching PBS anymore. They're just gone. They're not. There's no way they're getting funded enough to carry, and especially Sesame Street was never a high budget production. Sesame Street was one of those shows that like they just filmed and hit stop, and like even whenever things went wrong, like they would ask the kids, how to count to 10, and they would skip the number 4, and they would still air it. Like that's just the way it's always been. So I don't think that PBS is going to survive much longer. I'm shocked that it still even is. So I think HBO coming in, swooping in, and salvaging not all of PBS, obviously, but saving Sesame Street, I think is an awesome thing. I think it's like adopting a child that's become an orphan, almost, or on its way there, in a matter of speaking. So I didn't know HBO did that. And I think it's only a matter of time before they kill off Elmo in a guillotine or something. But still, at least Sesame Street's still around. They're going to Game of Thrones Elmo.
See, the way I look at it, I used to watch a show called Max Headroom.
Remember Max Headroom?
Yeah, and one of the episodes they did was that these people were stealing. You thought it was like they were selling something like super important. It was an educational program, so kids go how to read and write because you can only get it if you had like premium service. And I kind of feel like that's what the world's going to. Our kids are already in trouble, and now you're taking away Sesame Street.
Well, are they taking away Sesame Street?
The thing is, everybody got to learn at the same speed because everybody had access to PBS. Now, the kids who have cable are going to learn a lot more than the kids that don't have cable.
Well, I think they're still going to get it eventually, though, right? Like Sesame Street's not gone from PBS.
It's delayed.
There you go. So I mean, that's the cost of living. Wealthier people are always going to have the advantage. They're always going to have better schooling. They're always going to have better equipment. They're always going to have better because better goes where the money is. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you're still going to get it. This is like Rocky. He didn't get to train in the gym and this. He was beating up frozen slabs of meat, and he was running up the stairs to the Eye of the Tiger, but he still became the champ. Like that's what it is. Kids can still accomplish and achieve all of that. I don't think having a 6-month delay is going to put them in a situation where they're not going to be able to become successful. Kids that are going to be successful are going to be successful. Yes, they already have a disadvantage, but PBS airing Sesame Street sooner is not going to change that advantage, in my personal opinion.
I think you're wrong, Colonel Sanders.
Mama says the alligators are only because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush. Okay, generic aisle, Isla Fisher, fishing pole. Do you fish?
I hate fishing.
Thank you. Like, I always feel like as a guy, you're supposed to love fishing. Like, that's one of those things that's like a guy thing. Like, you're supposed to like trucks, guns, sports, and fishing.
I had dinner with my parents the other day, and my dad brought up about how I don't go fishing. I said, no, I went fishing with you. I would go out. I'd throw I'd cast my reel into the water. I had 2 poles, one for casting and one for just sitting there waiting. Because they say if you cast and have it move, they'll get it. They're just sitting there, they'll go get it. So I figured I'll do one of each, and therefore I'll keep busy and whatever. So I try this, and I catch nothing but toilet paper and a shoe. It's the only thing I've ever caught with my fishing poles. I've never, ever.
Speaking of Sesame Street, I'm pretty sure that's all Bert and Ernie ever caught fishing as well.
Yeah.
So basically a Sesame Street.
We've taken trips to Erie. We've taken trips to Palmatuna. We've gone all over the place. And after 2 years, I realized I'm not catching anything. I said, no, I'm done. And by that time, I had a summer job. So why not make money instead of going out and doing nothing?
I just don't. Fishing's not for me as far as like the pace of it, and I don't
But
really
here's
want to
the thing.
sit and stare at the water.
But here's the thing. It's a beautiful thing because you can go out there with your Pandora, listen to your music, wait for the fishing pole.
Well, that's if you have. That's if you have connection. Oh, apparently we're gonna clash some clans over here.
Nope.
But no, that's if you have like I don't. Even if I had music and stuff, like I guess I could veg out. Really, I went. Well, my uncle, my brother, and a friend of ours, we all went fishing. But I really didn't go fishing. What I did was I laid in the back of the boat with my feet up, and I took a nap. And it was like the most relaxing, comfortable time. This is only a couple weeks back, or 3-4 weeks back. But like I like that. Like I'm not a fish kind of guy. I'm more of like a hang out with friends kind of guy. Like if I'm going with people that are fishing, I don't mind it, but I'm definitely not a fisherman. And it's one of those, it's that guy thing that you're supposed to like that. I'm not really big into trucks, guns, sports, or fishing. None of those are my thing. I don't feel like less of a man because of it. I just don't get into them. So
Yeah,
fishing's not my thing. Okay. Generic Isle of Fisher, fishing pole dancers. Now that is my thing. No, it's really not. I'm not a strip club kind of guy either.
I detest strip clubs.
I enjoy women. I like those. I'm a fan of that. I particularly like whenever they shake their things. That's also great. But going to a strip club and having to look at a person like to know that they are wiggling their body parts at me for $1 feels very degrading. Like I get that, and it's not a cheap thing. It's not that I don't want to give them that $1, but I feel like I'd feel better if they were doing it for free.
But here's my thing. Like, you don't want that because everyone's had that or wants to have that, and it's usually dirty.
No, I mean, but I'm window shopping. It's like you own a coffee table, but you can go into IKEA.
But the thing is, that coffee table might have syphilis, and the idea of getting syphilis from my coffee table does
I'm not putting any part of me on that coffee table. I'm just saying, like, I like to look at the coffee table.
I would, but sometimes the coffee table are just nasty looking.
Well, sometimes they are just nasty looking. You have to go to a higher breed of, or higher class of strip club, I suppose. I'm not really a strip club kind of guy in general, though.
I've been to a couple and realized they're all disgusting. And I've also heard the same stories from other people who've gone. And I think the biggest mistake that people have made is that they will use a credit card. And
how do you swipe that?
Bottle service. Yeah, we'll get bottle service. Next thing you know, you're on the hook for like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, no thank you. It's not even a money thing. Although, let's face it, I'm kind of poor. But it's more of just like a degrading, derogatory thing. I just... As much as I say and do and feel, like I say a lot of inappropriate things and I have a lot of perverse moments, but it's not, I don't have any
You're basically
interest
saying
in...
you're all talk.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not all talk, okay? I'm a whole bunch of action, but I just don't, I have too much of a heart, I guess, that I relate to that. And nothing wrong with people who do go to
You relate to
clubs.
hookers and prostitutes?
I do. You know what? I could be best friends with a hooker or a prostitute.
Well, yeah. You still make, as Ludacris says, you don't make a hooker into a housewife.
Yeah, no, right. That's it. But I don't feel like they want to do it, and that's part of what turns me on. Think about it. Like if you ask your wife to do something with you or for you or whatever, and she's like, okay, I will. You're like, never mind, forget it. Just
I thought you were saying the other way around.
Oh no, I mean, I don't want my wife to be necessarily a hooker, but I want her to do for me those things that a hooker would do for me.
What?
We might be having different conversations.
I think we are.
No, I'm saying that I don't. You have to want to do it. She has to want to do it for me to want to enjoy it. So that's more. That's all I'm getting at. I'm just saying that she has to have the desire, the ambition, the want to do these things, and that makes it sexy. A woman who will do a thing is hot, but a woman who wants to do a thing, that's sexy. And there's a difference between hot and sexy.
Okay, I heard that backwards. I'm like, no, Joe. No, that's called being... I don't even know what that's called.
That's no, not like in a forceful sort of way. Okay, fishing pole, pole dancer, dance party. This is something we have some conversation about. Back in college, we used to have, not you and I necessarily, but you would put on music and, oh my gosh, what was her name? The cute little blonde. Real cute little blonde that was friends with us. Oh, you know who I'm talking about. I cannot believe, I'm like embarrassed that I can't remember her name. But we used to have little dance parties in the hallway. We would dance back and forth past the door.
Are we talking about the same people? Because I don't dance.
No, not you. Me and her. We would do like you'd have music out, and her and I would do like little crazy funny dances back and forth in front of the doorway. Oh my gosh! Why can I not remember her name?
What did she do? Like, do you know what her major was?
I don't know. She was fun. Her dad was a kickboxer, because I remember that being intimidating. Because I was thinking about like making a move on her at one point in time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh! What was that girl's name? She was blonde. She was real short, tiny, real goofy. She was like fun, but she was like fun in that kind of zany, dorky sort of way. Oh man, this is gonna drive me nuts.
Was it your first year, second year, third year?
I think it was my first. Might have been my second year. I think it might have been my second year.
Because I don't know any blondes.
Tammy, Mandy, something ended with an I think. Jill. Jill.
Oh, Jill.
Jill. Yes.
Now I remember.
How did you forget Jill?
How did I forget Jill?
I don't know how you forgot Jill. But yes, real short, real cute, super cute. Jill and I used to have dance parties like in the hallway.
Now
like
I remember.
around the hallway. We would have these little crazy dance parties. Then you would play music and like out of your room. We would just we were goofy and stuff, but it was like, yeah, that's.
Let's see if she's on Facebook.
All right, you do that. I'm gonna move on. Dance party pants. Do you remember party pants? Like the big baggy goofy, like they were like real colorful pants. That they were sweatpants, but they were like bigger. They were back in the MC Hammer sort of days. Like I miss party pants. You never see people really don't. You very seldom catch. Like I think we as a society judge too much that people can't be that level of ridiculous anymore. Like people used to have mullets and wear party pants and all kinds of other like.
I gotta look at these party pants now because I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what party pants are? Party pants are like the fun, like the MC Hammer pants, but they were bright and colorful and crazy different colors and stuff.
That's not a party pants.
Yes, that is.
That?
Oh, that's not party pants. I don't know what that is. That is creepy. That's like a Muppet on that dude's crotch. Oh, everybody at home needs to Google image search party pants right now. There's no party pants in there.
Party pants.
I did not make that up.
1990s?
Yeah, let's do that. Maybe the 80s and 90s. Look, okay, like that. Like, those are party pants. They're flashy and they're wild. Like, here's what... You know who used to wear them is like those big jock dudes that used to work out at the gym all the time. Like, that's what party pants are.
They're called something else, too.
I don't know if they're called something else, I don't know it. They're not MC Hammer pants, but they kind of remind me of that. Like, they're that style thing. Party pants, man. Back in the days of like dance-offs and rocking the goggles and wearing a vest. Ding 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 ding. That kind of thing. Party pants.
Who wore them?
I don't know, some wrestlers at times. What was Macho Man, I think, used to wear them, didn't he? Macho Man Randy Savage? That was party pants.
Wrestling pants.
Okay, so those maybe not quite. Those are like spandexy or something, so they're not quite the same thing. Oh, yeah, kind of along the same line.
Folks, if you heard of party pants, please write in.
Yeah, somebody back me up on this one.
I'm not saying I don't believe you. I don't
understand how it didn't come up immediately, and maybe that's a slang thing for around here. Maybe that's like party socks. Everybody knows what party socks are. The socks used to come up to like above your calf, and they had there were white socks with different color stripes at the top.
Oh, those are just athletic socks.
They were party socks. Type in party socks, see if that gets you something. Party socks were definitely a thing. And there was party pants. You put on your party pants and they were like, you go for a run or something. That was a thing. I'm not making that up. Those don't even look like what I'm saying
No.
either.
The term's far.
They were like skater socks, so they were big on like the 70s and stuff. All right, then I wrote down pants versus skins. That's all I have on here. Pants versus skins. That would be a fun way to play basketball. That would be that'd be a unique. We know which team would win because the other team wouldn't want to touch them. Somebody comes at you, breakaway down the center line, and just doodle flapping around. You're getting out of their way. They just get to go. That's their score. They get to dunk, swoosh, basketball. No balls in the face.
Yes, totally agree with that.
I wrote down hall pass because we were talking about something before, and somehow the word hall pass came up. I think we were talking about movies, and I thought you were talking about the hall pass movie.
The movie, it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like if you marry your wife, you shouldn't need a hall pass from your wife.
I think it was like one of those. And you're still freshly married, so you haven't become aggravated or frustrated or worn down yet.
Really?
Really? No, I mean it's not the same. Okay, and I'm not condoning or discondoning hall passes. I'm not saying that you should be allowed to or whatever. But I'm just saying, like at a certain point, like everybody who's in a marriage at a certain point goes, "Oh my God, I'm sick of you. I just wish I could." So, it's a fantasy thing. It's not necessarily. I can't imagine it's healthy for a marriage or relationship, but it's something that I can fathom where that concept comes from or why some people might think, just let them be with someone else just to get them off my case for a minute. It's like,
well, the reason I say what I say is because I feel like, so I dated Tara for like 8 years before we got married.
yeah, you guys were together a long time before
Yeah.
you got married.
So we've had some pretty interesting arguments.
Okay.
Very.
Do you want to embellish? Well, and here's the thing: because I know Tara, and she's not really she's not exactly proper all the times, and she's not really shy. And I know that at some point in time, you and I are going to have to kill Ed Sheeran. Because she has a little bit of a crush on this guy, so like I get that. Like I get that she's probably said, and then you are the type where you hear her say that and you go, now I have to hate someone new. Like, that's just. Remember, was it Billy Madison where Steve Buscemi had the list of people he had to kill at the end of the
Yes.
like that's really where you are. Like you're not Crazy Eyes, but you're getting there slowly. Like you're being driven. Like how you look at Crazy Eyes for having that list of people he has to kill. You look at him and you go, I get that. I can relate to that. I understand. There's nothing wrong with this man. We don't understand him. We haven't had the opportunity to walk a mile in his shoes. That's basically what I'm saying, is that until you walk a mile in another person's shoes, you don't know how and what they live. So how you have this list of people that you eventually are like, oh, I have to kill Ed Sheeran, or I'm going to have to kill... And I don't know all the list. It's not all been shared with me for obvious reasons. I'm not privileged to all that information, but let's assume that there's a list of people that she has said at some point in time. I imagine every married man on the planet right now wants to kill Thor. We're all going to have to get together collectively. I don't know how Chris Hemsworth is still alive at this point. There's got to be at least one nut job out there whose wife went, and he went, and he's out loading his gun. Like, let's admit it. Like, the dude's got he's got an attractiveness that women love that man. Like, there's something about Thor that chicks just go crazy about. So I don't know how he hasn't been killed yet. Like, just by accident, you think there'd be one just not. There's always some dude who like has his feelings. He gets all butt hurt and he loads up a gun and he shoots up a church or something crazy. Like, how is one guy out of the entire continental U.S. not jumped in his van and drove to California and shot Thor in the face? Like, I don't get it. I don't know how it hasn't happened yet.
I picture some dude with a knife. Is he pretty now? Is he pretty now?
Right. Just cut his nose off or something. I'm not condoning this to our listeners.
No.
Let's not.
No.
But let's assume that at some point in time.
Streaming Gossip Podcast not going to do any harm, hurt, or marriage or any person.
That's all I'm saying is like you at a certain point, like when your wife goes, "Oh, that guy," then you go, "Oh, I really didn't want to have to hate that person, but now I do." I've got it too. Like there's certain things, and it's a vice versa too. Like there's people. My wife hates Jack Johnson music because it reminds her of a girl. It was playing while I pointed out a girl. I said something about a girl one time. I'm not joking. Like that's I said, "Oh, that girl," and then I probably embellished too much because I do that, and we're pretty comfortable with each other. Like she knows that I'm human. I'm a guy. I get a little flirty, and I definitely notice girls, and she's aware of all that, and it's not usually a problem. What happened was she was probably a little hungry on her period, and I was being a douchebag that day, and I said, "Oh, check out that girl," and Jack Johnson was playing on the radio when it happened. And now she hates Jack Johnson. She doesn't even hate the girl. She doesn't even know that she hates Jack Johnson because of the situation. That's how that all boiled down. Like
So-
that's the connection of craziness that goes there. So all I'm saying is,
So all I'm saying is, I have a list as well of like, oh, she's cute, and that's as far as it goes. She says, I'm gonna marry that person. I'm gonna have that person's children.
do you have like a top like a fantasy five?
No, because here's the thing.
I'll bet you Tara has a fantasy five.
I know she does. See, my list is different because it's like the second. How do I put this? The second it stops being a fantasy and might actually, and like, okay, Friends has that list of if I had the opportunity to sleep with these 5 people, you get away with it.
Right.
I feel like the second it starts to happen, it would just like shit the bed.
No, well, that's why it's a fantasy five.
Well, I think
It's
that's
not-
the reason why I don't.
Right. Well, I mean, you're not supposed to put people on the list that are like, you wouldn't say...
No, I'm saying
Like-
if it did, okay. So hypothetically, because I don't have a 5 because I'm saying this. So Kat Denning. Kat Denning.
Okay, yeah, all right.
We'll say she's my number 1,
All right.
and I run into her, and everything's fine. Tara have no issue with what happened. In my mind, I'm thinking, this is gonna be perfect, and then everything's the exact opposite of perfect. And like I burned a top 5 for a horrible experience. That's how it plays out in my mind.
Okay, but that's... Here's the other side of this.
I overanalyze things, Joe.
What are the odds of, one, you meeting Kat Denning? What are the odds of you meeting her and her doing anything more than signing an autograph for you? What are the odds of her actually wanting to sleep with you? And what are the odds of it actually happening once she finds out you're married?
I think about these things, Joe.
1 in like a gajillion, okay?
I actually have the number somewhere, but we won't talk about
You
it.
have
kidding.
you've done the statistics on
I'm
the
kidding.
thing.
But my
It's a pretty outrageous, and that's why it's okay, because it's not your top 5 isn't supposed to consist of like the hot neighbor
No,
or like
no, I know that.
the sexy
Well,
chick at the
what I'm
Jamba
saying
Juice
is-
stand. Like it's supposed to be somebody
Okay,
who's definitely could never
we talked earlier about how like I got a coffee table. I can go window shop, but I don't have to take home a coffee table.
and that's exactly it.
For me, window shopping is good enough. I don't have to have a top 5 of.
But if you had a top 5, you could window shop your top 5. Jennifer Love Hewitt has been on my top 5 since I first found out who Jennifer Love Hewitt was. Like she's still to this day is one of my favorites of all time. I pretty much really just a handful of all the Jessicas and Jennifers that are celebrities. There's not one that I don't want to put on my celebrity list. But Jennifer Love Hewitt is always
Older
kind of
than
been
her.
there. But here's the thing: is there is a no % chance that I would meet her and I could ever hook up with her. Like, there's a slim chance I would ever even meet her. But even if I did meet her, I probably wouldn't get anywhere past a handshake. And really, let's assume her security would have me on my face before I even tried to shake her hand. But that's what makes it okay.
You have little hope.
But like, and every woman has one, even if even like the people who won't. And I know you have a top 5, even if you won't say who it is. But everyone has a top 5.
So here's a secret.
Fantasy 5.
So here's a secret. This drove Tara nuts for years. She has her top 5, whatever. She's always whatever. And I'm like, no, honey, it's just you. And I was always being sarcastic when I say it, and I thought she got it. And then one time we got in an argument over something. And she said, I know you look like her. You have a top 5. I'm like, yeah, just a bit. I get to say you're the only one for me. So she doesn't know who my top 5 is.
So you're just gonna take it to your grave. If she knows who Kat Dennings is, I'm sure now. If she listens to our show, she's already figured one of your 5 out.
But she doesn't listen to the show.
That you know of.
No, we talked about this on Friday because we were talking about topics.
She might just be playing dumb.
Well, we'll see. I want to sleep with Kat Denning.
One day, you're going to, like, not now, but like years from now, when you're like old and gray and you're like just like feeble, you're going to wake up with a pillow over your face and her whispering, "How do you feel about Kat Dennings now?" Because women hold on to that. She will not forgive. I will not live very long. I know it already. Somebody, maybe it might be my wife, maybe somebody in traffic, but someone's going to kill me at some point in time. I'm not going to die of old age. I just already have accepted that. I'm going to piss someone off, and they are going to murder me. It's just how it's going to be. I don't know if it'll be a pillow over the face, but I know I'm going to go. Have we rambled on too much?
No, we get just enough.
All right.
So,
Fantastic.
tip the bartenders, pay for pizza, and tip them. Did you know that when you go to Eden Park and you order food to go, and you pick it up, you're supposed to tip them $2?
You're supposed to tip for food?
Yeah, because they're actually packing the food for you.
I worked at a restaurant for a long time, and I never heard, like, you can, if you get something to go, it's fine to tip, but it's not customary and it's not mandatory.
Huh. But somebody lied to me.
It's one of those things that, I mean, it depends on what you're doing, what you're getting. Like, a lot of times they have a person designated to only do those. Like, somebody works like a drive-through, and a lot of like the Eaton Parks, and they don't really have Eaton Parks everywhere throughout the U.S., but like if there's a lot of restaurants that have like that are family dining, they either have a drive-through or like the host or hostess will ring in the food because they don't have to claim tips. Mm-hmm. A server has to claim tips, whether you tip them or not. They have to claim that they made so much money off of the food they served you. So that's why you have to tip them. But it's not necessarily always the case in certain. But it depends on you kind of have to judge the situation.
I was lied to. I'm unhappy now. So scratch that. Just tip your bartenders, pay for pizza, tip the pizza delivery guy.
Don't wear black shoes with a brown belt. And make sure you follow us next week on streamofconsciousnesspodcast.com and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and Grindr and Happy Stash and Pasty Flamingo. All right. Night, everybody. Love
Let's
ya.
go.
Disco.